Well, it looks like the White House isn't going to let Congress get in its way on guns. President Obama's advisors are finalizing a proposal that would use executive powers to expand background checks on gun sales. One of the president's top aides saying that Mr. Obama and his team have asked to send him a final plan soon. In the meantime, Connecticut Governor Daniel Malloy is also taking action. He announced yesterday that he plans to sign an executive order that would prevent people on federal terrorism watch lists from buying guns in the state. So, what do you think about this, Chris? The president going around Congress, he's done this before, but this is big on guns.
Yeah, well, he hates these branches of government, you know. He doesn't like this whole executive power limitations thing. He doesn't like that. So he loves executive orders, which, of course, he attacked President Bush for again and again. I think he must have a lot of stock in Smith & Wesson and Browning, and because we want to be looking into whether he's becoming very, very wealthy over this. He is America's #1 gun salesman. You go into any gun shop in America, and there are pictures of President Obama saying gun salesman of the year. I think 80 million guns have been sold since Barack Obama became president. And every time he and the Democrats do this, gun sales skyrocket across America.
True.
And it's just, there are, you know, closets overflowing with guns because Barack Obama says this stuff. And it's just the dumbest approach to fighting terrorism that I've ever seen.
Julie, you see the chart. I'm sure you've seen it. It has skyrocketed, as Chris has said. So he is the best, I guess,
gun salesman of the year.
Not just him, though. You have Chris Christie, who did the exact same thing in 2013, banned people on the terrorist watch list from buying guns in New Jersey. So I think it's a bipartisan thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not just
on the terrorist watch list.
On the terrorist watch list, which, by the way,
you have a Christie disorder.
I'm giving Christie credit.
Christie derangement syndrome.
I'm giving Christie tons of credit for doing the right liberal thing on guns.
Except, you know, the terrorist watch list is full of, like, you know,
I will say this. I actually, let me say this. I actually agree with you. So I am as pro-gun control as it gets.
Yeah.
I have a really, really big problem with this because you're not convicted of any crime.
Right.
Any one of us could arbitrarily be put by some bureaucrat on the list,
right.
And you still have a right to bear arms. And so the fact that you're taking guns away from people who otherwise would have the right to bear arms without being convicted of something, that to me is a problem.
Finally, something that you're absolutely right about.
Yeah, someone who wants to commit a crime using a gun is going to get that gun, whether it's legal or
terrorist
illegal.
Criminals, they don't respect the laws on the books, so why would they respect this?
Right.
Yeah, and he's acting with. He says he meets with the NRA. He meets with these people. He discusses it, and I don't know really what comes out of it because it seems like he's got a one-minded approach through this entire thing, Julie.
Well, but I will say this: you guys talk about how if somebody really wants to get a gun, they will, and that's true. If somebody really wanted to get an abortion, they could too. But you guys want to ban abortions. If somebody really wants to rob a bank, if somebody wants to rob a bank,
somebody gets killed every time there's an abortion. Somebody doesn't get killed every time.
Somebody in Bernardino, they also had pipe bombs. They were building bombs. I don't understand how this became a gun control issue. Clearly, they would have done something else.
If somebody wants to rob a bank, they will, but you still have laws in the books against it. So why not strengthen laws to make
California has checked every one of those boxes. So, California has every. You take Barack Obama's dream list on gun control and look at California's gun laws. Jerry Brown has added 11 gun laws since he became president.
Let me get Kat in here.
Governor.
Because Julie just literally, you just said one thing and then flip-flopped on the other thing. It was amazing to watch. Kat, what do you think about this? As Chris said, there's all these gun laws in California. It wouldn't have stopped the San Bernardino attack.
Yeah, didn't Barbara Boxer, she actually said, like, we can do common sense gun control like we have here in California. Like, she doesn't know this happened in California, by the way.
Yeah.
What else do you do? Yeah. What else do you do beyond what you've done in California? And it wouldn't have stopped anything. Well, I don't understand how they had a house full of pipe bombs and anybody's making this a gun control issue because clearly they would have found a way to do something anyway. They were planning on doing more.
Why not give
guns or no guns, the people that are going to do something this crazy are going to find a way.
At which point do you have limits on what kind of gun you have?
At what point do you have a reasonable discussion about it, though? And, you know,
I'm trying to have supporting the Second Amendment and saying I want to give people nukes.
No. You have the right to bear arms. How far do you go? But I'm sorry, but how far do you go? Do you need those kinds of guns that they had, which California has a huge loophole on, right? You're able to have to trigger it to avoid the California law. So essentially what they were able to do is legally buy a gun that under California law they could buy because of the fact that it had a little jigger on it that avoided this
building bombs.
Which shows how dumb the gun laws are.
Which actually shows the fact.
I'm with Andrea. You just flip-flopped from where you started.
I thought I was hallucinating or maybe too tired, but
no. I think that particular law is stupid, but I think there are many good laws we could have in the books that could strengthen gun laws.
To answer your question, by the way, on why not give them nukes, in fact, President Obama is trying to take away the guns and give the Iranians nukes. So that's a good question for the president.